Hey guys, so welcome back. So in this video we'll be learning the main stuff about how to build a site. So I guess this is the fifth video of our series. So in the first four videos we just learn the basics and how to make forms, how to deal with get and post requests and things like that. So in this video we'll be actually seeing how to make a proper site. So the first thing we need to do is we have to install a template from somewhere. Of course, we could make a template of our own, which would require a lot of HTML and CSS. But since this is like a beginner Django video, for simplicity purposes, I will just install it from somewhere. All right. So I'll be installing a template from this particular site. It's taking some time to load. Yeah, it's called freecss.com, and I will leave the link to this in the description box below. You can go and install the same thing if you want. All right, so all you have to do is you have to just install it. Press on download and it'll get installed by itself. So now after you download it, you should be seeing once you open up the file, you'll get that in a zip file. Just unzip it and you will be seeing something like this. So the first thing you have to focus about is this index, right? This is your main HTML. This file contains the HTML code for this particular site. So as you guys know, let me just open up VS Code. So in this we had home.html and answer.html, right? To take care of the different pages. Similarly, for this site, all the HTML code will be in index. All right, so this one will be index.html. And then for the styling of HTML, you will have CSS, fonts, icon, JS, JavaScript, and things like that. Okay, so I'll say what to do. Let me just make it a bit small. Okay, so the first thing is, okay, you have to drag index.html and put that inside the templates folder, because that will be your template for this new file, for this new site. As you can see, this is the all the HTML code. All right, okay, now you see all this, right? CSS, fonts, icon, and stuff like that, everything inside a folder. You're supposed to make a folder named static. All right, so I made a folder named static, and you're supposed to copy all this inside the static folder. I will say why. So you copy all this inside the static folder. All right, so I've already copied them: CSS, fonts, icon, images, and JS. Okay, so now what? Now I'll maximize this. So now how can we get this particular site on our home page? As you if you guys remember the first video, what I did to get home.html is I went to the main Mr. Code and I told to include unique.urls, right? So that way it will go to urls.py of unique. But now I need to make a separate app for this new site, right? Only then will it work. So I already made, let me just delete this. So I made an app called Memorial. All right, I made an app called Memorial for that. So just do python manage.py start app and Memorial. So just do something like this. So work on new in the virtual environment, then python manage.py start app Memorial. So just do something like this, and it should make a new app called Memorial. So I already did that, and I have all this. All right, so if you guys remember, every time you make an app, always put a urls.py file inside that. So I will just be putting new file and urls.py, and I'll just go to uniques and copy all this, because I don't want to waste too much time. So I'll cancel this and let's copy all this down. So we won't be having all this. All right, we'll be putting in something else. Okay, so now what? The first thing is I have to add the path, right? Now this path, we want to show this index.html at the home page. So I'll put double inverted marks. All right, then I have to make a function as well, which I haven't made till now. So I'll do views.home name equals home. All right. So actually I'll put this to index because I already have a function named home. I don't want this to get mixed up with that. All right, so index. Okay, so now this seems fine. Let me save it. Now I have to make the function, right? So now go to views.py and drag it up here. It should come, and there you go. Now let me just check if I did. Okay, so just make a view, make a function. So I name my function as index, right? So a function named index, and of course it'll be accepting a request. So now we have to return, we should always return the rendered value of something. So render. Now this will be, I have to put a request over here, and then which page do we want to be shown? We want index.html to be shown, right, as a home page. So I'll put index.html, and that should work. Let me just recheck if I did everything right. And yeah, actually I have to put this in upper quotes. Okay, and this should work. Let me save this. But will this come as a home page? Let me see. Python manage.py run server. Let's see. And there you see our server started. Let's go to a Chrome browser. Let me go to my page and refresh it. Let's see. Okay, why do we get this page? Let me refresh this again. We actually wanted our actual page, right? Like, why do we get this page? Because in our main urls.py of Mr. Code, we forgot to change the home page to include memorial.urls, right? So now this like still is showing unique.urls as our home page, but we don't want that. We want memorial.urls, right? So I'll just repeat what this does. So for the home page, we want to include memorial.urls. So it will go to the urls.py of memorial over here. Then it will be path for the home page, right? Because we want the index.html to be shown at the home page. Then it will go to views.index and like search for index. So views, it will search for the function named index. So now we'll go to views. Okay, here we found the function called index, and we give index.html as our home page, right? So let's go back, let's refresh the page and see if this works. As you can see, it works, but there's a catch to it. We don't have any styling, right? We only have we only have the HTML with no CSS or JavaScript, right? Yeah, so like this doesn't look that good, right? So how do we add the styling as well? So let's say what happens. All right, what happened is, let me just close all this. Okay, let's like just review the HTML code for once, because I want to explain what happens. Okay, so like I'll take this case for example. So in this style sheet, it is linking to the bootstrap.min.css inside CSS, right? But if you see like where we put the CSS in, we put the CSS inside a static file, right? We put CSS inside static. So we have to go inside static, then search for CSS and then get bootstrap.min.css or whatever. So we are supposed to add something like static, right? Then you can get all this because like everything like CSS, everything is inside static. So like that's why it was super important to like mention static and put everything inside static. Okay, so I'm gonna do this for all. Like this is gonna be a very fast process. You're like supposed to do it for everything actually. All right, so let me just copy this. So wherever you see something that includes CSS, fonts or anything, well, like if you like see any of these names, just put a static before them. So over here, even an images comes under static. An image GIF, even that comes under static. And yeah, so I'll be back when I'm done with all this. Okay, so as you can see, I'm done. Let me save this and let me go back to the page. Let me refresh this. And but still it doesn't change a thing, right? It still comes the exact same way. Now why is that? It is because, okay, let's like just think about this. We like mentioned everywhere that it's supposed to go into static and fetch the files, but we never really specified where static was. So we have to specify like where static is, right? So again you have to go to settings.py for this. Go to settings, go all the way down. All right, we have static URL. So like just put like if you have to mention where the static files are. So I'll put static files dirs. All right, let me say static. Okay, let me just put files cause it's fine is equal to. Now where should our static files be? os.path.join. This will be inside our main directory, right? Like a base directory. So base dir and it's under the name static, right? So let me save this. Now this should refresh. Let this refresh and let's see if it works or it still comes the same way. Okay, it got refreshed. Let's refresh this page and hopefully it works. There you go, we get the loading animation and there you go. We got the site, right? Like we got everything in this. So that is it for this video. We learned how to apply a template to our own site. So in the next video, we'll be like learning a bit more about what we can do in this, how we can make our own forms inside, like for example, contact us, library or whatever. We'll see how we can make our own stuff, all right? So like hopefully you guys are excited. We got this new template inside our own particular Django project. So yeah, stay tuned for the next one. As usual, if you have any doubts regarding this, please do leave them in the comment section below. I'll be sure to answer them. And that's it for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and bye.